Last post, I was talking about getting some help for my boy Hakeem Byrd. I also told you that Hakeem Byrd is innocent. He's in prison doing life for a murder that he did not commit. And just to recap, I told you that I believe he's innocent, and when you hear his story, you will also believe he's innocent. And I just want people to just pay attention to little simple things. This is how they did it back in the 1980s. Robert Hakeem Byrd is an 18-year-old kid minding his business, walking about. Cop pulled him over and said, "Come here, where you going? What you doing?" And he said, "You fit the description of somebody that we looking for." And they locked him up. Took him in, hot, ignorant of the system, never been in trouble before in his life. But he's always been very compliant. He's like a guy that want to do the right thing, and even with contemplation, he still want to do the right thing, but he ends up being compliant. Long story short, the cops accused him of committing a couple of armed robbery shootings against some taxi cab drivers in Newark. And the ugly part is that they started that with a hunch that he looks like he fits the description of somebody who might have killed this cab driver. And they locked up a 16-year-old kid with him, Antonio Hockaday. And they charged him with the murders. They got them to say each other did it. Nah, I ain't do it, he did it. And so they charges them with the murder based on them giving ignorant statements. These two kids never been in trouble before in their lives. On a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there were three. I said two before, but there were three cab driver shootings in Newark in April 1984. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The killer took off Friday and went to Atlantic City, but I'm going to talk to you about him later. So, on a Saturday night, that following Saturday night, Hakeem Byrd and Antonio Hockaday are locked up, charged with this murder, based on nothing. It's like a fabricated story as we go along. They have been under that conviction for over 35 years. Hakeem Byrd is still locked up. Hockaday got out a couple years ago. Well, the police, the prosecutors, and the public defenders knew 35 years ago that these boys were innocent, and I'm going to show you how. The real killer was Craig Hart. Craig Hart was also from Newark. He shot those cab drivers in Newark. And then the same day that they were locking up Hakeem Byrd and Antonio Hockaday, Craig Hart went to Atlantic City that Saturday night, and he killed another cab driver. It took about 30 days before Craig Hart got caught. By this time, the story against Hawk Byrd and Hockaday, it had already started forming. Craig Hart gets confessed. He gets caught after about a month, and he starts confessing. He said, "I killed the people in Newark, and I killed the people in Atlantic City, the same gun," and he gave it to him. Somehow, the Newark police didn't want to hear Craig Hart's confession. They Said, we don't need them. We already got somebody for this. We got 2 people for this already, so we don't need them. Tell them to stop confessing. Okay, so that's the long and short of it. Now, why did this case drag on all these years and nobody seemed to have thought that it's something that we're supposed to do here? He had a lot of public defenders representing him, and they just looked the other way. And the same with the system, with the police and the prosecutors. They look the other way. They see something wrong here, but they look the other way. Hey, ain't my job. I ain't getting involved in that. They look the other way. And when they look the other way, they're really complicit in this whole nightmare scenario. And this is not just about Robert Byrd and Antonio Hockaday. There's a whole lot of brothers in there with the same similar situations. They innocent. There for something that they did not do. There's a lot of them. A lot of brothers cop out. Do the time, get out. They just didn't want it to be longer. Well, anyway, so Robert Byrd goes to trial. He's found guilty.